So welcome everybody, and I'm sure I'm going to get people that are going to come in as we kind of start. So if I pause a little bit, it's because I'm kind of doing two things at one time. I may have to let people into the meeting as I'm talking. So welcome everybody, and to my staff that are here as well. They're enjoying the last few days of summer vacation, so I appreciate them coming on, especially Mrs. Bronco, who's going to translate if there's any translation that needs to be done for this evening. Alrighty, so welcome everybody. So you probably have heard what some of our new things are going to be happening from the superintendent. He had a Facebook presentation about 2 weeks ago and explained what we were doing as far as the Orange School District with our plan. So that's what we're going to go over tonight, and specifically how that affects Scholars Academy. There's different phases, but I'm going to try to do one thing at a time, okay? At any time, if you have a question, because this group is really small, feel free to unmute yourself and just say, I have a question. It's okay. If we had like 50, 60 people, that'd be different, but we have a really small group right now, so feel free to just jump in and ask a question or any clarity, okay? Alrighty, so on the district website, you will see the school reopening guidelines for the district. And so that's about a 129-page document. It's very lengthy, but very involved, and it gives you a lot of information. So I'm going to really condense that down to how that affects you. I'm going to have this presentation up on my website, and you'll see that this link right here is live. If you click that later on, you will be able to go right to the district's opening plan. For parents that are in pre-K, the plan specifically for pre-K is on page 43 and 44, but I'm going to go over it in detail tonight. We have a re-entry plan and focus areas. So these are the 8 focus areas that we're really honing in on to open up our schools. So we have social emotional, addressing and closing the learning gaps, our blended learning, which is online and in-person learning, equity, making sure everybody has what they need to have to learn, being very flexible and innovative with our social distancing, making sure we're staying within our budget. We do have a budget restraint sometimes, so we have to make sure that we're doing everything that we can within those confines. Professional learning, that's for staff and for parents and for students. There's a lot to learn this year. And our community engagement. So those are like our virtual Fridays. We're going to have like fun Fridays and things of that nature, and how to keep us engaged despite the distance that we might have right now. Does anybody need any of that translated? If you do, just kind of raise your hand and let me know. I think we're good for that part. Okay. So here is our plan right now. So this is our reopening plan. Dr. Fitzhugh and the board selected plan B. And so we are virtual. Everybody is virtual, including staff, from September 8th. Well, staff starts September 1st, but September 8th to October 2nd. All right, everything will be online just like we did from March until June. When October 5th comes around, teachers will come into the building 2 days a week. It'll either be Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday, and they will be teaching from their classrooms, but don't worry about it because they will have cameras on and they will be able to do the lessons for your child live, so with the devices that they have. So that'll be 2 days a week live. And then the other 2 days will still be live, but it'll be from the teachers' homes, all right? That's till November 25th. Phase 3 is where we bring back our students, where it's a soft launch. We want to see how it's going to go, and those are priority. Those are students with disabilities, 504s, Tier 3 students that need a lot of support, and any students that really had a difficult time from March into June to get their academics done. So that's from November to December. Then January comes and everybody is able to come back if you wanted to have your child come into the building. It would be 2 days a week in district, 3 days out of district. And I'll show you what that looks like, because you're like, what does that look like? There was an opportunity for parents to opt out if you don't want your child to come into the building at all year. There are forms on the district website that were available. There was a timeline, I believe it was August 17th, that you needed to submit that paperwork. If you want your child to come into the district beginning in January for 2 days a week, you don't need to do anything. They are automatically going to be enrolled in that type of program. All right. Any questions about that? Okay. So phase one, what does that, exactly look like? So I put this here. I put live instruction. So you're going to meet Google Meet twice a day. This is for preschool. Okay. This is just for preschool, twice a day. The lessons will be recorded. It'll be placed on Class Dojo, and assignments will be in Class Dojo as well. But the idea is that the children log in during the Google Meet time to get that live instruction, because the teacher wants to kind of talk and engage. Let me see, raise your hand. How many of you do this? Let me see you hold up the letter A. We're going to have all those materials. So it's going to look similar to March to June, but not at the same time, because March to June, there was some interaction, but a lot of the lessons were already posted onto Class Dojo, and you just viewed it and the teacher was just talking to the camera. But now the teacher will be able to talk with your child and engage a lot more in a whole class, okay? So that's phase one. And GT, I'm going to get to you guys. I have not forgotten about you. I'm going to show you what your phases look like. Phase two, so October 5th to November 27th, what does that look like? So now the teachers are coming in 2 days a week, either Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday. So I didn't say anything about Wednesday. Wednesday is where the building is being cleaned. So we want to make sure our staff are safe. So Monday, Tuesday, staff come in, selected group. Wednesday, the building is closed. It is being disinfected. And then Thursday, Friday, a different group of teachers show up. So that's what that looks like. So Wednesday, teachers are not going to be available to be doing live instruction. That is their time to do common planning time, professional development, post lessons on Class Dojo, but they're not going to be doing live instruction at that time. That's also an opportunity for parents. We listen to you. We hear your concerns. I'm going to call Wednesday catch-up day. Put the little ketchup bottle out. That is when you can catch up with anything that you didn't get to do on Monday and Tuesday with your child. Do it on Wednesday. So that way you don't get backed up. On Friday, you haven't done any of the lessons. So that's what Wednesday is going to be, is a catch-up day for you guys as well. This is what it will look like when we are in phase one, okay? So 8:30 to 9 o'clock, the students get up, they're ready to go, they're eating their breakfast, they're good to go. 9 o'clock is when the teacher is going to be logging in, and your child will be too, for their Google Classroom Meet lesson, okay? Then they take a break for an hour, because we know that developmentally for preschool, they should not be on a computer for that many hours and hours, okay? 10 to 11, work time activities. Again, you're gonna have the activities, you're gonna know what to do. 11 to 12, teacher comes back on along with the students again, and it's a different activity, be a large group or small group time, all righty? And then 12 to 1:30, just like we were in school, lunchtime and nap time. It's really important for them to get their sleep in, all righty? Then 1:30 to 3, this is where they have outside time, hopefully at home. You know, you guys are able to go outside, if not at least inside. Hands-on activities, painting, finger painting, drawing, Play-Doh. We're going to be giving you a lot of these materials to do. If you're like, where am I getting all of this? We're going to be supporting a lot of that for you. They should be running, jumping, all of those wonderful things that they can do outside if possible. All righty. And that's their whole day. But you see from 1:30 to 3, the teacher's not online. The teacher is able to have any questions that you might have. That's their office hours. They're available through Class Dojo. If you have questions, you can ask them any questions that you may have, and they'll get back to you within those 1:30 to 3 o'clock time slot. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. So phase 3 and 4, a sample schedule. What does that look like? When I said teachers will be coming in phase 2 on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday. And then I said students would come back in phase 3, those students that are selected to come back. And then phase 4, all students. So if you look on this calendar, it looks a little crazy, but I'll explain it to you. So you see that the first group here, Monday and Tuesday, these are our students that we need to get back into the building, our soft launch. Let's see how it goes. We have everything prepared for them. So we'll have one group here, will come here, so we'll call them group A. And then another group would come in on Thursday, Friday. That would be group B, okay? Pre-K would only come in from 8:45 until 11:15 or 12:30 to 3 o'clock, depending on the amount of students that we have, okay? Then January, phase 4, when other students come back in, we're gonna have all of our students that opt back in, Same thing, we're going to have 2 different groups. We'll have an AM and a PM group. So we might have A1 and A2. They come 2 days, then they're off those 3, well, not off. They're not off. They don't come into the district on those 3 days, or your child will be in group Thursday and Friday group, which is group B. It'll be morning and afternoon. But I'm not focusing too much on phase 3 and 4. That's not till November. And we all know things change quite a bit. But that is the plan. At least you have some idea of what to look forward to. And hopefully we're still moving in the right direction to go that way if everything continues to go well. So this is what a sample schedule would look like for the activities, for preschool, for our cohorts. When the students come back in phase 3 and 4, they would have greeting time, small group time. Everything is just like they did, except we took it and shrank it down into the time frames. So you see how many minutes they have. All righty. And so that's what the schedule would look like, either AM or PM. The child is not there all day. They get 2.5 hours of instruction. Notice there's no nap time, no lunch time. We don't do that when we only have them for such a short amount of time. So our pre-K virtual learning expectations, what do I expect? You know, when I talk to GT kids, that's going to be a little different. I'm going to expect you guys to do this. For pre-K, parents, I need your help with this. So I need for the parents to log your child in on time for their lesson, because we don't want them to come in the middle of something and, well, what are we supposed to be doing? And it's really hard through the virtual lens. So we really want to make sure that they're on time. If your child, we're going to be recording all the lessons. So your child's attendance will be taken during that time frame. If by chance you miss that lesson, it will be on Class Dojo. It's your responsibility, parents. You have to click the like button so that we know that your child is present for the day. We're taking attendance every day. We have to see that they're present every day, okay? That's a little different from March to June. Now it's like, this is what we're doing all year. We need to kind of reel things in a little bit, and we need to kind of do the best that we can with our attendance, because it's still important to us. We have to have them present for us to teach them. Make sure that their camera is on. We want to be able to see them if they have questions or they're making a funny face like, I don't know what they're talking about. We have to be able to, sorry, I have to let somebody in. We have to be able to see them and be like, I don't know, Jason, do you have a question? You have a puzzling look on your face. So we want to be able to see their faces. Just be mindful of what's behind them and making sure that they are dressed appropriately for being on the camera. All righty. And any distractions, you know, any radios, TV in the background, things like that. So we're only asking that during that time that you be mindful of quiet time so the teacher can hear and the student can hear what's happening at the same time. All right. For GT, my GT students online. So we're going to be starting September 21st, and it's going to be online all year. Okay, we don't want you traveling on the bus like you used to from your school to come to Scholars, to get off to Scholars. So we're trying to keep you guys safe as well with the very limited movement. You go to school and you go home. We don't want you bouncing from school to school. So this is what we're doing. You'll notice that the days of the week have changed a little bit from what you're used to. And there's a reason for that based upon your in-district learning. So you'll see what time we were doing. We're doing you guys in the afternoon, because in the morning is when you have online instruction with your teachers from 8:30 to 12:30 or 11:30 to 3:20, depending on what grade level you are. So this is what your schedule will look like. If you notice Friday, 5th graders, your schedule changes a little bit in January because you will be learning in the afternoon. It's your home schools, so we have to get you in the morning to do your GT program, okay? But again, if you have any questions about it, ask me, feel free. You're going to have Ms. Nabielny, Mrs. White, and Mrs. Dorman again. They are returning. And so you'll have one subject area, just like we did last time, except we were rotating it. We'd have science this week. Next week you had STEM, and the next week you had math. We're not going to do that. We're going to stay with one subject for 4 weeks to make it a little bit easier so you can be continuous, all righty? So this is your time frame. You'll have a whole week to work on your project or whatever assignment that the teachers give you, because we know you still have your homeschool responsibilities, right? So we want to make sure we balance that out. But you are responsible for doing the work that the GT teachers are giving you, all righty? So this is what it'll look like for your units of study. So it's a 4-week cycle. So if you're in 4th grade, the first unit of study, you might have STEM for 4 weeks, then you'll have math, then you'll do science, and then you'll start STEM again on a new unit of study. Okay, does that make sense to you guys, my GT students? All righty. So it's the same expectations for pre-K for GT, except you don't need your parents to help you with logging in. You should know how to do this by yourself at this point. All right, the teacher will be taking attendance every class period that you attend. You need to make sure that you're completing your assignments, make sure that you're in a quiet space as well, and that you are ready to go. We want to make sure that you are attending your GT class. If you're not, you need to let the teacher know why you're not, because we are going to be monitoring attendance and making sure that people are participating, okay? Make sure that you eat lunch before you log in. We don't want you to go all day and not eat your lunch and wait till you log off at 2:30, 3 o'clock. That's a long day, all right? And you can see the rest of this information here, and a lot of it I'm going to go over again with you guys when you start the program. But again, it's not starting till September 21st. We're giving you a little bit of time to get back into the groove, and then we'll be ready to go for you guys. But if you have any questions, make sure that you reach out to the teachers. All right. Does anybody have any questions so far on anything? No? Okay. So the virtual learning environment, we see that it's going to be Google for grades 1 through 5 right now. That'll be Google Classroom, Forms, Google Meet. For pre-K, it's going to be Class Dojo. You will be using Google Meet just like you did right now. You just logged right, you just clicked the button and you came right into the room. There's going to be webcams in the classrooms for the teachers to record their lessons, interacting with your children and posting them. For pre-K, we're going to have Starfall and ABC Mouse. And for GT, we're going to continue with Power My Learning, and we're going to have coding programs and a few other goodies. I don't want to tell you everything yet, but a few other goodies up our sleeves to make the learning a little bit more interactive for you guys. So there's supplies that I had mentioned. So pre-K, we do have supplies ready, almost ready. I have to go pick them all up tomorrow, and then we have to distribute them out. So these are the materials. You might have seen them on my website, Scholars website. These are the materials that we would like our students to have. Now for pre-K, we are collecting all of these things for you. We're going to give you a packet. Next Friday is going to be the kiosk, and then you can come and pick up these things. You want to pick up things anyway because you're at the store and your student you're very excited about starting school. Pick up crayons, pick up pencils. You know, you can certainly go shopping by any means. So if you want extra things, this is what we're looking to have. GT, your back to school list is also online and it's here as well. These are the things that the teachers are asking you guys to have. We have not ordered those things for you guys yet because we know that you're going to be getting a few things from your homeschool as well. But these are the things that you should have, and probably a few of these things you might already have at home. But if you run into any problems, again, let us know and we will see what we can do for you guys. So we want to make sure that you're successful. So you have time to get your materials together. Like I said, so for pre-K supplies, it's going to be next Friday. I'm going to make a phone blast and let you guys know. I'm also going to put it on Class Dojo in case you forget. It's going to be from 1 to 3 o'clock next Friday at Scholars Academy. Just like you came to pick up your certificates at the end of the year, it's going to be the same thing. A table set out, come in, you're going to get your materials, and then you can go. All righty. Oh, just make sure that you have a mask. You definitely have to have a mask because we're going to be just social distancing, which I'm sure you're used to wearing a mask anyway by now. So we do still have the breakfast, the grab and go breakfast and lunch program. That is still happening. That is for everybody, pre-K to 12. These schools that you see listed here, you can go to any of those schools to pick up a grab and go lunch. You don't have to come to Scholars. If Haywood is closer, go to Haywood and pick it up. But these things are still available throughout the year, okay? And there will be from 7:30 to 1:30, Monday through Friday. A really nice window of time frame for you to pick up the meals that your child needs. Take advantage of it. It's really, really helpful. So school cleaning practices, our building was great to begin with. Our custodian staff does a great job, but of course now with our changes in safety and security, we want to make sure that we're taking it up a notch. So we're definitely increasing our cleaning facilities and our practices, like we're closing down on Wednesdays to clean everything out and making sure that we're disinfecting, especially those areas that are touched quite often, especially with little ones, doorknobs, handles. The bathrooms will be cleaned all the time. They were cleaned anyway at the end of every day, but now they're going to be cleaned throughout the day. And that will be for that phase 3 and 4 when students start to come back in. So some of the things that students will be doing and staff are hand washing, sanitizing, making sure they have masks. Face shields are being ordered for staff. Plexiglass will be in some of the schools that you'll see them standing up to guard. And so those things are coming. As you can imagine, there's a lot of things on back order because all the schools are going back and the companies just can't get it all out. So that's partly why we are in Plan B, because it gives districts time to get all of those things put in place while the companies are trying to manufacture all of these safety materials for schools. And of course, we're going to be doing social distancing. I'm really excited because I added some more things onto our sensory hallway. So parents in pre-K, if you walk down the hallway, you could see things on the floor. So we have added to it. So it kind of helps for students to stay on one side of the hallway and the other side of the hallway so that we're practicing social distancing. But it still looks cute. It doesn't just have circles that say, stay 6 feet apart. It's got we have bugs. You have to stomp the bugs out. We have letters and numbers and a sunflower, which looks really, really neat. So our meals and snacks, we used to do for GT and preschool, we used to have family style where everybody sat down together at a big long table and they ate their lunch together or breakfast together. We will no longer be doing that. Students have to sit at least 6 feet apart. And so you'll see all of the requirements there. Meals are served in the classrooms, but GT, you won't be at our building, but this will be applying to your school anyway. So students aren't sharing food, which they weren't doing anyway, but we're really going to be mindful of that, making sure they're washing their hands before and after, which preschool, we were doing that anyway, but really being mindful and making sure that they're getting in between those fingers and really being safe with that. All righty. Outside time, we're still going to have outside time. That's so important, especially now and being in quarantine for so many months. So we still will be doing that. There'll be only one class on the playground at a time. Before I had a schedule with 2, it will only be 1 at a time. And in between that time, from one class to the other, the custodian will wipe everything down, disinfect it so the next group can come out. Alrighty, so that will definitely be something that, and if it's inclement weather, they'll be in the gym, but again, there'll only be one class in the gym at a time. When that class leaves, we'll disinfect the equipment, and then the next class can come in and use the equipment. So we're going to be very mindful of keeping everything nice and clean for everyone. Visitors. So with visitors, we're not going to have any. And that also means that when you come to drop your child off preschool, you're used to coming into the building and walking up to the classroom and dropping them off. That's not going to happen anymore. So we want to make sure that only we're going to accept your child. We're going to have a different process and procedure for how you're going to drop them off. We will take them into the building, bring them upstairs, and that's how it's going to be us for the phases 3 and 4. The details of that are forthcoming. I want to iron out a few more things on that. Where's the best location to do that? Which doors? I kind of have an idea. We're going to have the back doors will be 2 classrooms. The front door will be another 2 classrooms, but those 2 classrooms aren't coming in on the same days. So there's a lot of kind of working things out in that venue. So we have a little bit of time, and I don't want to give you too much of that because your head will start to spin and go, okay. But that's basically what we'll be doing. You'll be dropping off. Then when you arrive, you tell us who you're picking up. We go upstairs, bring the child down to you. That way we alleviate people coming in and out of the building. So it's a little bit different, but just know that they're going from you to an adult, back to an adult, back to an adult. There's always an adult with your child. So that much has not changed at all. We're still with safety with children. Field trips. We won't be having any field trips this year, but we will have virtual field trips. They're not as fun, but we will do the best that we can with field trips. So we don't have any of those fun things just yet. So the teachers will be doing at least 2 throughout the year of a virtual field trip. And there are so many companies now that are offering the expertise of their staff members that kind of set up a Zoom meeting, and they might be by the ocean and they're showing kids things, which is great. And GT students, you know what I'm talking about, because Ms. Dorman did it all the time, right? She had all these scientists coming in, watersheds. Oh, it was phenomenal. People from around the world that they were meeting with throughout the day. So it was really neat. So that's what we're going to be doing for our field trips. So parent meetings and communication. So we're going to be doing our meetings just like this through Google Meet or Zoom. And if you have any questions at all, want to talk to the teacher at any time, just email them or Class Dojo. Those are the two biggest communications. If you call the school, the teacher may not be there to get it for at least a week. If you miss them on Tuesday, the message won't get to them till the following week. So you want to do Class Dojo in email. That is your best way to reach the teachers, okay? Make sure that you're checking Class Dojo often, all the time for updates. That's really, really important. I post things on there all the time. If you've seen, I've been doing that all summer. So make sure that you're staying up to date with that. And make sure your phone numbers are accurate. There's a few people that have called me. You haven't left your phone numbers. Then when I go into the system to call, the phone's been disconnected, so I can't call you back. Make sure that those are updated, because that is how you get phone blasts from the district and from me as well. Alrighty, so really important. If it changes, just send me an email, put something in Class Dojo saying my phone number's changed. Please update the files, and I'll be more than happy to do it. So social emotional, again, this here, when I post it, this is a live link. You'll be able to see this a little bit better because I know it's kind of hard to read, but that's a live link. And so we're going to be working on social emotional for pre-K and gifted and talented for the first couple weeks. And what does that look like and sound like? How are we dealing with our emotions? How are we feeling? How can we self-govern ourselves? How are we doing our work? And things of that nature. So there's a lot within that. So you can take a look at that. Teachers will be talking about that. And you'll see that on the schedule, especially for preschool on Fridays, social emotional. Now, don't forget, parents, you have to take care of yourself too. So I'm a parent, and a lot of my teachers are parents as well, and we get it. We really do get it. Trying to teach while being a parent, teaching was quite challenging from March to June. Okay, so we do get it. So make sure that you're doing self-care for yourself. Okay, make sure you're taking that time. And if you're having any problems at all, or if something is just too overwhelming, please reach out to me, reach out to the teacher, and we will try to provide support that you need. Okay, even if it's like, you know what, I couldn't log in today, I can't do this, just tell us and we will help and work you through. We are all in this together, and we all need to support each other, especially as parents and families and educators. So we're really partnering with you in education now, and it can be overwhelming, really overwhelming at times. So please reach out to us. We are here for you. I'm just a Class Dojo click away for you. Make sure if you use Class Dojo, though, you send me a private message. Don't put it like in your classroom, because everybody's going to see the answers or your questions. So most of you know how to do that, but if you have any questions about how to do that, you can send me an email. I'm usually at work anyway. I'll be there 4 days a week at least. You can always call the school and leave a message, and I'll get it without a doubt. And here's my information for my email addresses there. It's also on my school website. The phone number's on the school website. So you should be able to find me some way. I'm not that hard to find. You know where I am. Okay, and also you can follow us on Twitter. I have a Twitter account. We have one for Scholars, and I have one myself. And also the Orange Public Schools has one on Facebook, and they have one on Twitter. But if you're going to follow on Twitter, follow Scholars Academy, and you'll see things that I post on there. But I post a lot of stuff in Class Dojo because that's our private community within our school. Twitter, I post things like what's happening in the school, but I get more fine-tuned with our Class Dojo of pictures of us, like as a family, as a school family. So our back to school night, mark your calendar, is February, oh my goodness, September 28th. It'll be at 6 o'clock, the same type of way within Google. And you'll have an opportunity to break out into your classroom with your teacher, and they will go over things with you that night as well. So I'll talk a little bit that night, but then you'll branch off into your teachers, including GT. You will branch off and talk to the GT staff as well. Okay, so make sure you mark that down. It should not conflict with any other school. We're the only school That's happening on September 28th. So if you're from Haywood, Oakwood, Forest, Rosa Parks, Lincoln, Cleveland, what am I missing? Park Avenue, I think I got them all. You should be able to still log in at 6 o'clock and hear from the GT teachers about the program. All right, so does anybody have any questions for me? I think I saw somebody pop in the chat here.
Will there are we going to the Scholars Building?
Nope, you're not going to go to the Scholars Building. We're going to keep you guys at your home school. So your Scholars Building is going to be this Zoom right here, or your Google Classroom, just like you did from March to June. We don't want you going on the bus, coming off the bus, and going back and forth. Okay, so it's all going to be virtual all year. I know it's not as much fun. Trust me, Miss Nabiel needs not. They're all sad about it because they have all these cool things they want you guys to do. But, you know, we can do it for a year. We'll have to do it for 1 year. That's all.
Are we do we do the our homeschool first and then we go in the Google Meet, or do we do it the Google Meet first?
That's a good question. So what grade are you going into now?
I'm going into 4th grade.
4th grade. So your 4th grade, well, your class is probably in the morning from 8:30 to 12:30, right?
Okay.
That's probably that should be what the schedule is, if I'm remembering it correctly. Then at 1:15, you would have the GT class, but it's only 1 day a week. So 4th grade, you go on Thursday. So on Thursday around 1:15 in Google Classroom, you're going to get the link, just like you did before. You're going to click on that and go into class. That didn't conflict with your morning class at all. That's why I picked that schedule. That's why I picked that time.
Okay.
Okay. But make sure you eat lunch before you come to class.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have another question? You're asking good questions.
We forgot to listen in when you were talking about the STEM stuff.
Okay, the STEM stuff. What was I saying about STEM? Oh, the schedule, probably the 4-week cycle. Okay, so remember before in March to June, you might have had STEM on 1 week. Next week you had Miss Dorman. The next week you had Miss White. It changed every week. You're not going to have that this time. You're going to have STEM for a week, for 4 weeks. Then you'll have math for 4 weeks. And then you'll have science for 4 weeks. That way it's all consistent. So when Miss Nabielny tells you next week's homework is this, this, and this, you know you're going to see her next week. You don't have to worry about, wait, I'm going to have math next week. Or am I having, no, it's not going to be that.
Okay.
Okay. It'll be a lot easier for you guys to stay in one topic. You'll get all of them, but within 4 weeks at a time.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
You have another one for me? You're asking really good ones.
No, I don't have any more.
No more? Okay. If you think of more, you let me know.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Staff, you might have questions, but you can wait till next week to ask me your questions. Any pre-K parents have questions? Nobody?
Hello, Ms. Machuca.
Hi there.
Hello there, it's Amanda. I have a question.
Sure.
I did the survey to allow Amir to come back when the school assistant actually gave permission to get in. But if I have any apprehensions when you do get in and when it's time there, I have to be to school because he's still not tolerating a mask right now. How will that be affected if I decide to change my mind at that time?
If you need to change your mind, that's fine. To opt out, like you want to keep him at home, that's fine. Hold on, I'm going to mute you 1 second, just so because it's feedback. Okay. So you can opt for him to be out if you need to. If he's not keeping the mask on, we'll see where we're at that point. I mean, the students are supposed to wear their masks. We might have a shield for him that might help him, but we can kind of talk as we get closer to that time frame and see what's in the best interest for him and for you, what you feel comfortable with too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Machuca, I have another question.
Go ahead.
Does Rosa Parks know that the time of like the scholars time?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Now, will they forget? Maybe. Does your teacher know? Probably not. Does your principal know? Yes, they should know. But the teachers, remember, the teachers are still on vacation like you. So September 1st, they come back, then they're going to get all this information. So you may have to remind your teacher because they may forget because they got a lot of stuff coming at them next week and the next week and the next week. So there's a lot of information. Okay, so you just remind them. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.